All right, good morning, everyone. Another gap higher this morning. It is Thursday, June 26th. We're taking a look at NASDAQ here. NQ trading up against that prior day high. As of right now, that is about 22,550. 22,550 area, 22,548. Into all-time highs, into fresh all-time highs this morning. Overnight high up at 22,585. Let's take a look. Yeah, 22,585 for the overnight high. You can see the prior day high right through here, 22,550. So the focus for this morning and for today is how price responds to that prior day high. That's going to be our nearest reference point. There's not a lot to work with. When the market is into all-time highs, when the market is in that price discovery mode, pressing fresh highs. So be leaning more on reference points, definitely still expecting some slowness. I'm just wanting to see, are buyers going to be able to continue this directional move higher, or are sellers going to start to step in? As far as selling is concerned, sellers definitely have the more challenging scenario given the current backdrop and given the current structure. If we take a look at an hourly chart, you can see the breakout that we've been talking about that was triggered on Tuesday, really Monday evening, but that counts as Tuesday session, and it's been nonstop since then. Here's the level that denotes the all-time high right through here. And interestingly enough, that's where this week's volume point of control is as well. So a lot of volume conducted there in that 430 area, 400 area. We do have an upside reference here. This is a fib extension, and this is taken from this most recent high here, Monday, June 16th, down into Sunday's low, June 22nd. So it gives you a little bit of a target to work with. Like I said, when the index is at all-time highs, there's not a ton that you can work with that is going to be concrete as far as actual levels are concerned. I like to use strong structure points. And one of the byproducts of being at all-time highs is you just don't have that. You do not have that. So it's been a slow week so far, expecting some of that slowness to continue. And that just means staying extra patient, watching for clues of choppiness, and electing to sit out if the action is overly choppy, not forcing trades, not just trying to put points on the board or anything like that. Rather, preserve the trading capital and the mental capital for better conditions. So we'll see what we get this morning. I'm going to be focused again on that prior day high in NQ. If we take a look at ES also into all-time highs this morning. You have that same fib extension up there, 6,200 for ES. And a very similar structure as far as that range breakout is concerned. Prior near-term range right through this area, past few weeks, right? You get the breakout earlier this week. Another day of patience. If you've had a tough time so far this week in the slowness, it's time to start learning from those lessons, recognizing when the action is slower, recognizing when it's choppier. I know this sort of action can definitely burn capital and make that frustration flare up, which only leads to more emotional trades. So Market doesn't owe us anything. We're just here to look for our edge. We're just here to look for those asymmetrical opportunities. And if they're there, we execute. If they're not, the job as a trader is quite literally to do nothing. If you don't see your edge, your job is to do nothing. It's part of the job. I know 9 to 5s don't pay for that, but the job as a trader, that is part of it. So get used to it. Yeah, we're on non-back adjusted charts. Got the open here in 60 seconds. NQ just sitting right on prior day high. Be keeping an eye on volume this morning. Do we have a 10 a.m. print today? Let's see. We do have a 10 a.m. print. We don't have any pal speak today or anything like that. So where's our volume point of control? Right through here, 552. All right, let's see this open. There's your open, market open. Decent volume off the open here. Decent. It's decent. Nasdaq new low of day there. Let's take a look at our 5-minute regular trading hours chart. A little bit of a gap higher. The gap fills down into, what is that? 467. Staying patient here. Not much to work with. Note the volume. It's about 50% of the average for this time of day. See if we get a new low of day here. NQ, new low of day. All right, a little uptick in volume now. It's better. A little volume there as NQ tests the 22,500 level. NQ into VWAP. Volume just tapers right back down. ES actually tested session high right there. NQ back into the lows. A little rejection at VWAP. Still cash morning on my end. All cash. Dom, are you all right, man? Oh, wow. That's why you keep your trail in right there. My goodness. Wowzers. It's a good note for those that think they're going to keep a mental stop on anything. I'll just keep a mental stop. I'll react fast enough. No chance. No chance. So, anyways, trailed out of the long, as you can see right there. The idea, we did have a little undercut of the intraday structure, 22,500 psychological level. What do we call that? We call that the spring setup. You can barely see it right here on the 1 minute, but it's right there, 943 long setup. Take it into the intraday structure high and VWAP and then just trail. Exactly what we did. Trail saved the day there, honestly. My goodness. So 1 for 1 on the morning. We'll take it. We will take that. NASDAQ new low of day. We got 12 minutes till 10 a.m. Let's check on the status of the gap. So the gap has yet to be completely filled. That's going to be 467 prior day close. It's getting quite choppy here. Chopola. Can't believe it's already Thursday. This week is flying. Week is flying by. That means tomorrow is Sushi Friday already. Wow. Amazing. NWOG. Let's go, Chrissy. It's the best. NWOGgy. NQ just about filling the gap here. Overnight gap. Prior day close, 472. Got ES down into prior day high. Rolls ready, does? Nah, not yet, man. That fish is probably still swimming around. It's fresh. It's fresh. NASDAQ, a little bit of a bounce there versus that gap being filled prior day close. No position personally, but you love to see it. Look at that right there. Gap gets filled just about. I mean, not completely. Still a little bit more there, about 10 points. About 5 minutes till 10 a.m. We do have data at 10 a.m. Looks like ES was actually a little cleaner there. Yeah, prior day high, spring setup. So far for me, there's been a one and done. Man, look at that ES setup. Beautiful. Don't sleep on ES. It's been solid. Don't sleep on the old S&Ps. Tried and true. Now, Mish, don't slander ES. You used to trade it too. I've got the receipts. I remember when you used to trade SPY also. Okay, so all right, 1 minute till data. It's more of a minor print, but as always, something to be aware of. NQ back in a prior day high. Wow, how about that prior day close level? Man. NQ, new high of day. ES up through overnight high. Wow, what an epic miss. My goodness, that ES trade. So upside reference point on NQ here is the overnight high. Where's our volume point of control? Right here? Okay. Good to know. So NQ, a little consolidation here, just shy of the session high. See if this is going to end up being the intraday range for the day, or if we're going to get that next leg into overnight high, up and through overnight high. ES bumping into that overnight high right now as well. NQ new high. Overnight high is that upside reference point. 585 is the level. No follow through, back in a prior day high. Yes, very well might be our range for today. Staying patient here. I want to see how this intraday structure develops and whether or not this is gonna actually be intraday range. Meaning here's the high, here's the low, and we just kind of trade like this, or if there's gonna be a little bit of a higher low and price is gonna go for that overnight high. That is the question. Session volume point of control just overhead right now, 552. All right, Ray, take care, man. Look at volume. 50% of the normal average during this time. This may be an early one. This might be an early one, folks. NQ getting back into session highs here. ES looking good again. That was a nice hold there. The level of interest, no position. See if buyers can make the new high. No new high made on that little bounce. Another decent hold there of prior day high, noteworthy. No position, just noting that. All right, let's run a quick poll. How's the morning? Let me know how the morning is. I'm betting it's going to be cash for a lot of people. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me know. Poll in the chat. Poll in the chat. All right, mostly flat, mostly cash. Green and red pretty mixed. Well, green may overtake cash here in a second. Cast your vote. Cast your vote. It's all anonymous. Cash is green. Nice. ES treated me nicely. Nice, Nicole. Every time I see that ES move, I wonder if you're in there. I'm glad someone's capturing that. That's good. Speaking of ES, new highs being made for the old S&P. Let's see if NQ makes a run for overnight high. I had one little attempt earlier. Just looking for that continuation move on the shallow pullback. Did not materialize. I just gave that a one try. Trailed out. So we're 2 for 2. Very light day. It's been a very light week, but we can only take what the market gives us, right? So can only take what the market gives us. Can't force anything. Market doesn't care about your daily goals. That's it. NQ, is that a new high of day right there? Yep. Very slight new high of day. All right, let's see if this 1030 move gives us 1030 candle closure gives us anything. If not, we'll go ahead and call it. NQ new highs, not quite. ES nonstop though. Fresh highs, fresh highs, fresh highs. ES. You had the initial bounce there with the spring setup versus prior day high into the overnight high. It's going to be target, pull back into the level of interest, and just price discovery mode right there. Let's check on some of the other indices. Why don't we? Russell, RTY. Wow, look at the 2-hour trader framework entry. My goodness. With the spring setup right there. RTY. Monster trade. Phenomenal. Let's check out YM. YM, very nice. Very nice right here. Look at that. There's your entry. 2-hour trader framework. Let's check oil. Oil, what can you do with this little break above overnight high? A little pullback and retest right through there. Okay. Solid. I don't even trade these instruments. Let's check gold while we're at it. Gold, I don't see much here actually. Oh yeah, you got the prior day low spring. My goodness, look at that. Jeez. Love to see it. Look at that gold move. Mer. I've never traded gold in my life, but that's the setup right there. There's that 1030 candle closure. Let's jump back to, wow, ES, man, nonstop. All right, NQ new high of day coming into overnight high. Good uptick in volume. Look at that right at the 10:30 candle. New 30-minute bar. Not a ton I can do here per my playbook. So just staying patient, still just with the two trades here on NASDAQ, two longs. It's a bullish backdrop, so shorting not really going to be your easiest opportunity. Fresh highs being made, NQ up through the overnight high. We're into fresh all-time highs. Price discovery mode for NASDAQ. Probably looking for this yellow line up here would be my assumption, which is going to be the fib extension. So almost into that first target. And if you're wondering about fib extensions, I like for targets, I like to go most recent high, most recent low, most recent significant high, most recent significant low, rather. Try and get some targets there. And you can use other fib extension levels if you like. I like the 161, but there's a whole bunch of them that you can just at least look at. I mean, when the market's at all-time highs, it's like psychological levels and fib extensions, really all you have to work with. So I'm going to call it right there. I'll be keeping an eye on known reference points, overnight high, prior day high, and then intraday structure once it develops. Unless today is just going to be a trend day. But if we actually get some intraday structural development, a little bit more of a range or something like that, I can work with that. But until then, it's hands off. It's cash. Take my 2 scalps and call it a morning right there. Just happy to be avoiding any choppy conditions personally. So that's a win for me. Hope you guys had a good morning. Remember, stay patient, wait for that A+ opportunity. If it does not come, cash is a position. The market doesn't owe us anything. Just here to look for our edge, just here to look for our A+ opportunities and execute accordingly. So that's it. That's it. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank as always, but I mean, like I've said repeatedly, pretty low expectations for the rest of today. Hope you guys had a good morning. Thanks for your time, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.